Hey everyone, Happy New Year. Thank you for tuning in to the What You Got Sis podcast. I'm PGC, your host, and I hope everyone has found joy, peace, and love during the holidays. For this, the first episode of 2025, I thought I would give a brief recap of previous What You Got Sis episodes. Don't worry, this will be a quick recap so that if you missed any, this could be used as, say, a reminder to go back and listen to them. Or if there were any that you really enjoyed listening to, you can go back and play them again. I have enjoyed hosting the What You Got Sis podcast, and I am excited about the episodes to come in 2025. Y'all, this is so far outside of what I think of as my zone of comfort. It goes against my quiet and introverted nature. I never would have dreamed of hosting a podcast, but here we are, going into another year. I am certainly committed to keeping it going as long as it continues to bring encouragement and hope to even one person. So, with that, let's get going with the recap, starting with episode 1, which is basically the introduction to What You Got Sis podcast. Cookie J, my co host at the time, and I simply shared a little about ourselves and our hopes for the podcast. So if you want to know a little bit more about me, where I'm from, and what drives me, you would find it in the first episode. Episode 2, we jumped right into a heavy topic when we talked about privilege. Who has it? What does it mean to have it? And why it is important to recognize how privilege impacts us, our families, and communities. Episode 3, we did not back off from the heavy topics and rolled right into a conversation about authentic self. We shared some thoughts about what we saw as being our authentic selves and foundationally how being your authentic self shapes who we are and how we respond in any given situation. Episode 4 is on family, and it was a fun episode and one of my favorites as we recorded it during the family Thanksgiving dinner of 2023. We introduced a special clip created and presented by my son on Mom, Remember When? By the way, more clips on Mom, Remember When are to come in future episodes. One of my grandsons also shared what family means to him. If you missed this episode, I encourage you to pull it up and take a listen. Already, we are halfway through the previous episodes of What You Got Sis podcast, which brings us to episode 5, Reset. We shared why we believe it is important to, at times, have a reset, to pause and just reset, whether it's a reset of goals or change in direction. Sometimes a reset is necessary, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it, and we shouldn't get down on ourselves or discouraged, but energized for a new start or renewed beginning. That brings us to episode 6. This episode is on celebration, just simply recognizing the importance of celebrating special occasions and life itself. Episode 7, the Did You Know episode, there was lots of important information. In recognition of Sexual Violence Awareness Month and Autism Awareness Month, impactful facts and statistics are provided in this episode, which, by the way, included a special guest presenter in Lady Lakia, who shared information on autism as well as Down syndrome. Episode 8 brought us to a conversation around the spiritual aspects of mental health. This episode also included a presentation by a special guest, Audrey Greenfield, also known as my baby sister, Audrey Renae. She is credentialed in the mental health field and has a heart and love for God and people. Audrey Renae shared a wealth of information related to the spiritual aspects of mental health. winding on down, episode 9, Know the Assignment. We welcome the show's new co-host in Audrey Renae. Sadly, Cookie J, the previous co-host to the What You Got Sis podcast, stepped away to pursue other opportunities. But she knows I love her and pray for much success. Anyway, this episode simply challenges all of us to consider why we are here and the importance of knowing the assignment. And finally, we are at episode 10, On Purpose, Thankfulness Living. In this final episode of 2024, my co-host, Audrey Renae, and I shared our thoughts on Thanksgiving, how historically the early Thanksgiving presented itself, but also how it has evolved into a meaningful time of celebration with family and loved ones. Also, each day brings moments of thankfulness that should give way to intentionally living a life of thankfulness. So, there you have it, a recap of all episodes of the What You Got Sis podcast. I hope you have enjoyed the podcast. I have certainly enjoyed bringing the episodes to you. As I bring this recap episode to a close, I would like to leave you with a New Year blessing. True to my nature and the importance of my faith, I share with you a scripture from Isaiah chapter 43, verses 18 and 19. And it reads, "Do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." And with that, y'all, I say be encouraged and Happy New Year, and I'm out.